My name is Mr. Kim. I'm the wireless PM from the Cisco team. I'm so glad that I was able to come back in this festive season, just right before the Thanksgiving. And then I think the people already took a little bit of PTO, people going travel, but you can watch the Mobility Tech Field Day anytime. It's a season 12. So I partnered with the Kartik today. So we will bring you the latest innovation on the tooling for the NetOps, especially empowered by AI. So AI is nowadays is a new norm. I don't think that anyone will surprise and jumping off the chair because of we are using AI because it's so generic term at the moment. But the point is how we can accelerate the efficiency of a NetOps. I think that's the key outcome that we want to get. So I want to bring the few achievement and outcome that we are able to get for the past 6 months. So after we announced the AI-RRM and ICAP and other technology, it was a first attempt that we introduced the market. And after that, because it was even prior to Cisco Live, do you remember? So Mobility Tech Field Day have a special place in my mind. So I want to share the success and achievement that we were able to get with this community. All right. So quick agenda. We'll quickly go over what we have achieved, what customers were able to achieve through the AI-RRM, together with the Catalyst Center platform, as well as Meraki platform. And then we will give you the real-world example of how the end users troubleshooting exercise, especially around the client troubleshooting, as well as the infrastructure troubleshooting, has evolved for the past 6 months. And this time, the key differences from my attempt to this time is that we will dive in with a demo. We will show you a lot of real-world troubleshooting and example. So I'm hoping that you can enjoy this time. Let's just start the game. AI-RRM or AI-enhanced RRM and whichever technology that you use with the Cisco Wireless. The AI-RRM had been in the market for about 3 years. And it was a great journey for us. We start with the Catalyst Center with the little automation-only customers. We expanded the service scope. Now it's for all the assurance customer. More than 35% of the assurance customers, the DNA Center customer, Catalyst Center customer are able to use AI-RRM. We achieved a lot of success and a lot of lessons. And let's dive in what it is. First of all, I'm going to start with the current situation that most of the enterprise customers are experiencing today. I think no-brainer that every Wi-Fi deployment become densified. High-density environment is a new norm. And then when we have a high density, people say that, yeah, you know what means that we are still keeping the hybrid environment. But in reality, most of people who is in the office, they are in the meeting room. And every meeting room become a high density, right? In this venue, we have about 30 people in this room. We are doing all the live session, audio, video is a new norm. So expectation of the Wi-Fi becomes super critical because of the office environment is always compared against their home environment, thanks to hybrid work experiences. So people expect their Wi-Fi network in the high density and office environment works same or even better than their home environment equivalent. So the one thing that we have to do in the Wi-Fi operation is the constant optimization and constant changes. Because we are not talking about just one AP, we are talking about hundreds of AP and few hundreds in the same vicinity. So what happened in the reality is it causes a lot of optimization attempt. Every radio by radio, AP by AP, it just keep wiggling. Oh yeah, I will use a channel 5, I'll use a channel 9. Yeah, I'm already speaking the PSC channel on the 6 gigahertz, right? Interruption is keep happening because every time I move the channel from one to another, client need to keep up the changes. And sometimes depends on the clients, depends on the environment, it causes a bigger impact of the end user. Mileage might be varied. And there's other key criteria. When is the best time to keep my network up and running? There's no best time. Every time my operation, my business is working. So how we can keep up with the dynamic natures of the networking requirement, and how we can keep the stability and reliability at its peak. So that has been the traditional challenges. Why? Because in today's RRM world or RF management world, most of the system took the snapshot data of the past 10 or 15 minutes and use that data to determine the next best channel planning. But what if I got a meeting in 30 minutes afterward? Can my Wi-Fi ready for the meeting afterward? Probably not, because the system only can remember last 15 minutes, last 10 minutes. So how we can overcome these challenges? Hence, we're bringing the AI-RRM. The AI-RRM, fundamentally changing how the network looking at the RF environment. They are not looking at the past 10 minutes. They are looking back past 2 weeks of data, or depends on the algorithm, it go back in past 6 weeks, so that it can avoid the potential culprit. Let's say that I had traditional DFS event on the particular corner of the building, which is just happened to be sit closer to the window. So it got more DFS event coming in. And that particular AP, I will probably mark that AP with that channel 64, probably not not be able to use it because it is highly likely susceptible for DFS event. So we are keeping the record of all these historical events of the DFS or jamming as a rogue activity, and normalizing and identify the best outcome for the next 8 hours, next 12 hours of the business hour. So that had been significant the challenges as well as achievement that we are able to bring to the market, because no other vendor does this today other than Cisco. And obviously, the system may not, end user may not have the best idea on what's the best configuration for its own RF profile, right? Each AP come with their own TPC min max value. They have their own data rate values, or they have their own the channel width. So what is today's best practice to determine the best profiling? Yes, it's based on the my expertise for my CWNE, right? If I have one CWNE guy who is a guru of the Wi-Fi, and they gave me this RF profile, that's it. But can we maintain that best practice forever, everywhere? Not really. Probably we need to have it repeated every building by building. Actually, I just had a discussion with one of our sales guys, and he's asking, what is the best practice of optimizing my RF profile? I have 150 buildings, and they have all the different type of operation. And do I have to dispatch my professional on every building, spend a week for each one to get a size survey? It's extremely laborious effort. And AI-RRM at least mitigate those challenges. How we do that? Because system have ability to look back last 2 weeks and 6 weeks and provide the better recommendation for their RF profile. So system is not only just wiggling within the prior manual configuration profile, it also have an ability to feedback what's the best profile setup as an insight. So all 3 items was the great innovation. It was really, we are able to move the envelope to the next level, and it come down as a significant next level experiences. What does this number look like? Anyone guess? This is number of AP they're powered by AI-RRM. So past the 2.5 years, I'm so glad that these teams were able to achieve it. Actually, all started with Nicholas. Back in the day, he was the original inventor and ideator. So he moved to Wi-Fi 7. That's more sexy. But the AI-RRM now empowering the 1.83 million AP across the more than 6 million clients is powered by AI-based autonomous Wi-Fi. So this is all the team success. I will give you the one perspective too. When I first presented AI-RRM 6 months ago, I had a 5,000 AP in the Meraki shard. So who use AI-RRM as day-to-day operation. And then we launched the AI-RRM for Meraki 2 months ago as an early access program. And you know what, how much of a customer that we were able to get with just merely 2 months? We have 1,200 customers across the world, more than 140,000 AP now turn on the AI-RRM. So of course, it's keeping up its on-prem sibling, but the adoption graph and enthusiasm of the AI-based autonomous network is jaw-dropping. So this is a journey. We all know that the AI-based network is part of a journey, and we are tackling it from the ultimate angle of a prevention world. You know that if you look at imagine the journey of the NetOps, we have a monitoring that evolved to analytic evolved into the prediction, and prediction evolved into prevention. So the goal of AI-RRM is really providing a preventive network. It predicts what's going on the tomorrow, and it sets up the system for the success. And it's power both architecture, cloud, as well as the on-prem, and it's use the same DNA and same AI algorithm that we have been developing for past 2 decades. That's why it's trustworthy. So I almost feel like it's a bit of a cheating, because the Cisco have so much large data lake, so much of a historical information on the RF. The Meraki RF was immediately day one, it become equivalent, the maturity of their Catalyst counterpart. Because we use the same AP, right? Same Wi-Fi 7, Wi-Fi 6E AP. We use the same telemetry, which is what we call the NDP protocol. We use the exact same protocol, same telemetry, and we use the same engine. So the outcome is also the same. This is our customer want. They want to have the same services regardless of their architectural deployment choices. That's what we are able to get. The busy hour, let's get into more pragmatic advantages and impact of the end user. The busy hour concept was able to achieve because we do it AI-RRM by trending based. And since it's a trend-based operation, it can predict what is when my business start tomorrow, when my business close on next week. It can predict that because it used the last 2 to 6 weeks of data. And based on that, it reduced the channel changes. How much? To 0. So we reduce any channel changes during the operation hour, so that it was a life-saving technology for healthcare industry, for the manufacturing industry, and the key logistics with the retail warehouses. Because they can't allow any sudden interruption during their key operations. So busy hour was a significant value add, and in fact, among the catalog of 100 other AI-RRM feature, this was #1 widely used feature by customer. And what's the outcome of it? This is the outcome that we were able to get. This was the SF network prior to AI-RRM. It kept trying to change the channel. Every 15 minutes, okay, I'm going here, okay, there's something going, I'm coming here, right? So I don't know what's coming next. So I'm almost like I'm driving, okay, we are not in the SoCal, in the North Cal, but imagine that you are commuting on the LA and you only have 2 minutes to your next meeting. So people try to get the best channel. Everyone is trying to make a channel changes. What happened in the highway? Highway is no longer highway, right? Because everyone is trying to make a channel changes. That is the today's environment. Oh, well, in Cisco perspective, it's not today. It was 6 months ago. And then we deployed the AI-RRM. Then you were able to remove that. 9 channel changes happen in the off business hour. So daytime, 0. So there was a significant win for many customers. 99% of the channel change reduction. So amazing. Next up, we should have an ability to evaluate my network performance. I think I shared this slide, so I'll spend not too much of time. I will get into the real demo, then how we use as a day-to-day basis, not just improving my network experiences, how we navigate it, how we drill down it, how we troubleshoot it. All right, Kartik, why don't you take over and just show some demo.
You want to show the next slide?
Yep. Oh, yeah. So as a part of a demo, we're also going to show this one. I realized that we skipped this part. I didn't have a chance to present this on the last time. So this is the new AP neighbor view, which is available in early access. Probably this may not be too new for many of our Meraki customers because of the AP neighbor view is used by more than 2 million of Meraki AP today. This is one of the most popular features that we introduced lately, and that it provided a real-time view of a Wi-Fi scanner. Imagine that every single of your AP work as a Wi-Fi analyzer. You can tell, anytime, absolutely zero performance impact because we scan it. You remember that every Cisco AP come with a dedicated scanning radio? So that scanning radio result getting populated in real time all the time. So you don't need to dispatch anyone with some scanners and go on site with a 2-hour trip and gather one scanning data no more. So now you have all this data. You can get the full Wi-Fi analyzer view, which is a different channel width. Now I selectively choose a 6 gigahertz here, 160 meg. You can see a different impact and the power level based on the type of devices. You have a real-time rogue view. You have the impact analysis, and we also gather a lot of redundant SSID. If the single AP come with a 6 SSID, then it will be shown as one entry. So we spend a lot of time to make these solutions pretty neat and effective. So, all right, now this time, really, Kartik, now it's your turn.
Can I ask a question before you go?
Yes.
Cheryl Connell, with all the cool data you can pull and changes you can make, is there anything available for high-density areas where you have, say, 8 APs? Can they turn off the 2.4 radios on their neighbors? And
Absolutely.
it can happen now?
Absolutely, yes. That's what we call the FRA, the flexible radio assignment. And the FRA, just turning on the one radio, 2.4, depends on the one situation. This also has to be done really extremely cautious fashion. Because there's a different, aspect, different criteria to turn off, right? We can't just simply look at, I have enough RSSI enabled, I will just turn off. We shouldn't do that. We should look up the availability by SSID. We should look up the client perspective, and we also have to look up the historical point of view, that how many clients have been associated to that AP. So we are not only looking at the coverage perspective, but we are also looking at the capacity perspective. But anyway, so right now the FRA functionality, what we found was quite interesting value because with all these sites, we actually gather the percentage of the 2.4 radio saving is around the 67%. So. It's a pretty impressive.
I want to quickly show how the network looks like. So this is, I'm going to show you the San Francisco Building 12 network. I'm glad you asked the question about FRA. So to get to AI-enhanced RRM or AI-RRM page, you would go to the conventional radio settings page. That's where all of the radio configurations out of profile sits right there. So you would go right here, and this is where you would see the magic happening that Minse was talking about. The top section of here is going to show you the summary page. If you have used Catalyst Center or DNAC, you would have seen a similar kind of hero bar in the page. So that's the same exact experience you would be getting with the Meraki dashboard as well, where you would be seeing a hero bar on the top showing you the overall summary of the network on that particular band, and you have filters available here. You can filter depending on which band you want to choose. You would see every single active radios here. And not just that, you can filter depending on every single thing. That's channels, your access point tags, and also your RF profile. Say, for example, you have different RF profile set in different floors. You can filter it out depending on that. And this hero bar would actually change depending on your selection right there. I want to quickly go over to the poor settings right here. Let me go over to 2.4 and show you all the poor RF score APs. So this actually lists out all the poor performing APs right here on 2.4. It's going to show me what is my RF performance score. It's pretty bad. The overall score is pretty bad. So that kind of filtering is something we enable with this overall hero bar on the top. But also, we have a map view here. It's actually trying to make it a little bit easier for folks to understand what are the channel assignments. Right now, I'm looking at the entire building. But let me go over to one specific floor. I can actually go into different floors in the hierarchy. Like, for example, this is my 4th floor. I'm looking at every single AP in this particular floor. And you can look at what are the neighboring AP channel assignment. You would see there's not a lot of overlap happening in that particular floor itself. You can filter out depending on the channel itself. Like, for example, let me do channel 144. There's one AP here. For example, 149. You would see the difference. There's not a lot of neighbors right there. But I don't want to just talk about how far it is. Like, you see the RF health score for those two APs. It's not looking great. It's still 60. But we can go and look at what exactly is happening in the neighbor report. So this is, again, enabling us to understand where exactly the filters are coming from. But also, apart from that, we are giving you an option to see every single AP's RF scoring right here. And this is, again, coming from the WCAE scoring that we have. And again, this is the common engine between Catalyst and Meraki. We have the backend scoring, which is common for every single access point. We have the same KPIs that we use to measure an RF scoring for all of the APs right here. And how to enable it, you go here to the RRM tab, and this is just one toggle button here. That's it. You don't have to do anything else to enable AI-RRM. You just enable this toggle button, and the part that you were asking about, FRA, flexible radio assignment, that's just one toggle button. If you enable that, you would go and look at your 2.4 redundant radios and make sure they are disabled in the off busy hour chance so that you don't have any client connectivity. And we also make sure the entire analysis, there's redundancy and there's enough coverage in 2.4 before we turn off any of the 2.4 radios.
So, quick question.
Hey, yes, Lee.
Why wouldn't that be the default? Why wouldn't it just be turned on?
Yes, that's a great question. So a lot of customers do want that XS 2.4 coverage. They don't want it to be disabled by default. It could be for users like you have hospitality IoT devices, which require that XS 2.4 radios. They don't really care about having that non-overlapping channels for 2.4. So we don't want to take that out from customers saying that, hey, by default, your redundant 2.4 radios will be disabled. We just want to give the customers an option. If you don't want that XS 2.4, you can go ahead and disable it. So giving that option, you can, of course, go and disable it by default, but we still want to give customers an option to, if you want it, you can disable it or you can keep it as is. Alrighty. Apart from that, if you, from Minsei's last MFT presentation, you would have seen AI channel planning and busy hour. We still retain all of those configurations. You have your auto and your manual busy hour configurations and your AI channel planning, which would avoid all of our DFS and radar events right there. And you still have a historical report data that you can download and look at what all events have happened in our network. But let me quickly go over to show you one of the APs, how it looks like in the network. Like, for example, let me take this particular AP as an example. And let me go over to the neighbor view. And where does the AP neighbor sit? It sits in RF spectrum. I'm going to click there, go to the AP neighbor view. And here are every single APs listed out in my network. I would go and look for that particular access point. And I click on it. It's going to give me this new AP neighbor view. And this is something we did bring out pretty lately. And for some reason, this doesn't show up. But yeah, let me go over to a different AP for that matter.
No, I think that's because it's showing the overlapping AP.
Overlapping AP, right?
Well, you can go to the other.
Yes.
So I can give you the one example. So why this is so clean? You might wonder, hey, I'm not seeing anything. What's going on? It's actually quite normal because by default, it's designed to show interfering AP on the same channel. Do I have any AP interfering this? No. Love it, right? I don't see that my channel decision was done wrongly. Can you click the total in network neighbors?
Yep.
So now that it was a little like a shady gray color, now it's got more contrast. These are all the rest of the AP in my network. And you see that channel distribution was beautifully distributed. And this is what I'm proud. Okay, talk to customer. Hey, Mr. Customer, check out my channel distribution, channel assignment. Looking good, looking good. All right. And then the next question is, hey, what is my log impact? Can you turn off this one? So because this is so messy, if we turn on the rogues, this is rogue AP, right? So usually we don't took the same weightages between the rogue and my own AP, because most of the time rogue APs are rather, steady. They're not really active or generating a lot of traffic. So we highlighting and prioritizing the channel distribution among ourselves. So that is a lesson that we got. But anyway, this is how we can expand it from the just a quick view of how my channel planning look like and how overall my network look like. Can you scroll down, Kartik? So now you have a traditional view of all these scanners of my APs and my SSID. Remember that typical Wi-Fi scanner tool that you have to see the 10, 20 different entry for same AP all the time, right? You have to filter by yourself. No need. Because now that the filterization is automatically done, remember all these BSSID, you have to do all your math that what last 2 digit and tuple is a 0B, it belongs to same AP. Oh my God, right? It might drive us crazy. You don't need to do any of it. Because now we do that filtering and summarization right from the main organization pages. And then you can, even there's a rogue and others, but so this is it. This is AP enable view.
All righty.
Thank you.
And is this, Minsei, is this the data that's being accessed by some of the third-party tools where they're pulling out to show some of the real-time information? There's been a lot of talk about that last couple of weeks. Is this where that is coming from, or is it coming from a different source?
No, it's not coming from. We are the sources, right? So our AP have a scanning radio, and the scanning radio are running the over-off channel scanning all the time, every time. So we just uploading that real-time scanning result in the dashboard. So ideally, we could be the source of other third-party tool, but we spend a lot of time to make this tool to be easily usable without jumping between the different kind of platform or UI tool, so that you can correlate easy. So yes, this is the source of it. Thanks. Hey, by the way,
Awesome.
AP doesn't need to make any mode changes. Your AP is continue to be the AP. This is also beauty of having dedicated radio. Right? So when Nicholas designed the AP, we make sure that we have like a hexa radio, a penta radio. I don't know. What's beyond the octa radios? Anyway, I will let the Kartik to continue. Thanks.
Yeah. Before we move on, I want to show one last comparison. Like, for example, this is 4th floor in our building. This is where entire wireless engineering sits. If you look at the scoring here, it's 88 is the RF health score. But I want to show a comparison of another floor right there in our building. It's 100. That's where we don't have any wireless team sitting. We don't do any testing. We are trying to show you the comparison between how having that excess rogue APs in the particular floor is actually messing up with the RF performance in general. So you would actually see scalable measurement of how is your performance score improving depending on how your rogue networks are in the particular building, and also giving you that comparison of how we are improving your AP's performance on a day-to-day basis. With that, I want to give it back to Minsei.
All right. Thanks, Kartik. So next question that every customer had when they have seen the AI-RRM, they enjoyed it. So I think the last week I had the meeting in the Santana Row, because our new headquarter office, and spent a good 2 hours in the lunchtime, because the customer was so happy the AI-RRM take care of everything. He got the one question. Everything looks great, but I don't know how to report to my boss. I need to show some improvement. And I need to show something that I can explainable, right? So we have a health score. Let's say the health score is 65. Where did 65 came from, right? So that's why we are working on the next iteration of the RRM pages, which is coming right after the December. So you will see it soon. So now the page got a little rearranged, and then now the health score have an explainable field. If you click it, then it will show what is your overall trend look like for this particular radio. Has been damaged, has been like a downgrade for whole time, or was particular timing. Or if this, a little like a less ideal, then why that the discounted value came from?
Hey, Minsei?
Yes.
Are these calculated using the same metrics as the air quality score on a traditional controller?
No, we don't use air quality. We use the WCA score.
And so are we going to see this score also on the controllers as well in Catalyst mode?
This same score is available in the Catalyst Center anyway as a part of AI-RRM offer. And then
It's the exact same score and it's calculated the exact same.
exactly, because we are using the same library from the WCA tool that CX uses. All right, next up, intelligent capture. So intelligent capture, I mean, it was a great moment and also a lesson for me for the past time. So maybe I can address one question that I still remember that coming from the Twitter spaces. So question was, hey, can you guys expose the 8.11 error code? And says yes. So after we receive the feedback, we create extra field, the tab on the pages. So every failure PCAP attached with the host APD error code. So now you have it. So give us a feedback, we will deliver. And the Wi-Fi professional community has been our best counterpart to measure our success and efficacy. So let's continue. The typical troubleshooting exercise have a two-fold approach, right? One is a discovery, other one is the bottom-up, right? The discovery workflow is mainly for the proactive monitoring. This is how we use the dashboard, right? Look at the dashboard at the network level, org level, we zoom in and find some anomaly during the trending data and pick up the what impacted that symptom. Or we can possibly avoid the situation. But in many cases, customers, end users are still prefer to keep the troubleshooting workflow for single VIP. I have one client that had the bad cases, he opened the cases. So I need to find out what had happened for the user. So traditionally, this type of approach require event correlation, historical view, timeline view, you name it, right? Bunch of these extra tooling had been required. But there was one critical missing pieces, which is a final forensic over the air packet capture data. Can I get the packet capture upon any failures? And so he said yes. Anytime client fail to join, fail to roam, you will have a packet. So this is a true game changer. Commented from the Meraki escalation engineer who does the packet capture as for his living. It makes his life so easy. So what is required? What is a full workspaces that look like that surround on the packet capture? What we found in the packet capture exercise, it have a few of criteria. First of all, we first need to have a packet, right? I mean, obviously, right? But what packet? Do you have an IP packet? Do you have a over-the-air packet? Right? We always wanted to have an over-the-air packet. Second, do you have a data in encrypted fashion or decrypted fashion? It has to be decrypted, right? If it's encrypted, it's no use other than connection troubleshooting. And often, a lot of connection troubleshooting even get challenged because the DHCP and DNS has to be decrypted, so which is not available from your typical sleeper capture. Packet visibility. What tool do you use? Yeah, probably Wireshark, probably OmniPick, right? So I don't have like a live view. I need to kind of connect all the tooling and tool set, need to get a plug-in adapters and the multiple chain system. This traditional tool, right? How we can automate this process? The intelligent capture automate all your typical workflow as a single button, which is not even required to click it. Every packet that you got already decrypted. With every packet have a header, radio header. It already supports Wi-Fi 7. If you client roam from one AP to other AP, 3, 4 AP continue roam, you will have a one PCAP file. Because we stitching all these multiple PCAP together into one file using the timestamp of each packet. Not only that, it does packet analysis for you. So you don't even need to have the big, thick 8.11 protocol pack because the system will analyze it for you. So entire workflow of the packet access is available. Oh, by the way, I shouldn't forget, right? This information is available in the historical fashion, store up to 90 days or 7 days, depending on the type of the packet. So now you have a historical data too. So even if the customer called you up like 3 days later, that, oh, by the way, my director had a bad day on the particular Monday morning. Can you take a look at what happened? Yes, now you have a PCAP.
I want to quickly show you what the flow looks like that Minsei mentioned about. So we have a couple of views right here. The first one being, how do we get to the packet capture itself? I mean, the first one is getting into the experience level view from the single client experience. If you folks have seen this assurance view from the last MFD, you would have seen this whole assurance dashboard that we have, talking about what exactly the network looks like, how many client failures you have, and all of that information. So going here, for example, I can go here in authentication and pick any of the clients here, any of the clients that had an authentication issue. So say, for example, I'm clicking on this particular instance here. When I go on this particular client, it would actually take me to all the packet captures if it had any failures. Okay, this had a redundant issue here. Okay, let me go to a next client view here. Going here to the overview page, skipping to this, going to the wireless client, authentication impacts, going here to my Pixel 6 authentication issue. It's going to take me to the client page, showing me what are the issues, and it's going to show me the overall single client experience here. But the cool thing here is, if you go here to the timeline view, now you have a filter here that you can filter out with all the timelines that have a packet capture. Like say, for example, I'm increasing this to the last week. Every time there was a failure, I would see an event here, and there would be a packet capture available for you to download or actually go and view it directly. But not just this, we are giving you an option here to look at the stored packet captures here for this particular client. You would see a lot of those packet captures here given you directly over here, saying that what are the instances and timelines that this particular client had an issue. So I can go and click on this particular capture itself. And this is the live view that Minsei mentioned about. You would have the live view of the packet capture here on the dashboard. And if you scroll down, you would see what is the packet that actually triggered, what caused the issue. And when you expand on it a little bit, you would see the error code pop out. This is the error code that we actually specify on the file name itself. And this goes back to showing you the trail of events that happened before even the client failed to authenticate. But just not that, we are also giving you a summary of what exactly happened. We are showing you what are the reasons, will actually give you a report of why did that client fail and giving you an RCA of what all things could have happened while this client failed, and giving you an overall steps of DHCP, ARP. If at any particular instance, the client is trying to get an IP address, was it an ARP failure? You would see that right here showing you the entire steps. But before that, I want to go to show you how do you actually enable it. This is again the second experience that you want to talk about. When you go to Intelligent Capture page, here is a tab called Proactive PCAP Enablement. This is brand new. You would see this right here. You can enable it across all the devices in your network, or you can pick and choose which particular device you want to run it on, or also the tag of APs that you want to run it on. You have an option to do that. And also here are the stored packet captures listed out for every single AP and devices in this particular network. And here is the new packet capture option. This is where the point that Nick mentioned, you will be able to go and capture a packet from a Wi-Fi 7 AP, and you can look at all the packets, like you can look at the RNR for MLD, and you can look at the EHT packets right here in the packet viewer when you look at in this page. With that, I want to give it back to Minsei.
All right, so I have a 1 minute before I wrap up and hand off to Jayanti, but I have one critical thing that I want to mention. So if you look at the traditional tool, we talk about all the dashboarding tooling, but the one thing that we always want to get is a downstream workflow. When you look up the what is the holy grail of troubleshooting, self-healing network, there is an automated RCA, right? We talk about the self-optimization network, holy grail of prevention through the AI-RRM. What's the holy grail of troubleshooting? Automated RCA. So that's what we've got. So when we have any failure connection happen, let's say that AP is in the discrete condition, because the uplink is not in the 1 gig speed, then now you have not only just have an event log, it comes with a multiple remediation strategy, such as changing the configuration, check out the POS and the budget, check out the cable test, even take a packet capture right from the same pages. This is also first time in the industry that we actually trigger the wired troubleshooting exercise upon the wired failures, a wireless failure. Did you imagine that the AP failure was caused by, how much time did you spend to explain that this is not a Wi-Fi problem, right? Now the AP problem trigger the action of the wired troubleshooting. This is like a first thing that we have done at the cross-domain troubleshooting. It received a super positive feedback. Yeah, we will continue to expand the catalog of the automated RCA. Thanks, and I will hand off to Janti.
All right. I know we are on time here or maybe past, so I'm going to just wrap it up. Thank you all for being here. My name is Jayanthi. I'm a part of the wireless team as well, a bit of a MFD junkie. I think I've been here in every hotel that you guys have been in. Thank you for being here. The thing that excites me most is being able to come here and talk about what we said last time, except that now we have executed and you can actually see, right? So this is progression. Every time we meet with you, we are able to talk about stuff that we did in the last few months. So that's really heartwarming. And one thing I want to mention is a lot of the focus here has been our out-of-the-box experience. So when you think about what we have done with Wi-Fi 7 APs, how things just work, right? And then the fact that we have spaces integrated with a Meraki dashboard, just as we are integrated with the Catalyst Center as well. Basically, that makes it available out-of-the-box experience. The licensing, the whole concept of unified licensing, the point there is to make it a better out-of-the-box experience. Even starting from the time that you actually order the licenses, this is all one unified flow. You don't have to think about which country these APs are going to. Partners love it. They don't have to think about, who is the global customer they are selling to anymore, because it's the same ordering process no matter what. Same thing for the curb discussion Dave had. That's all about buy one AP, use it wherever you want, however you want it. And the fact that we have all of the AI features built in. You don't really need to do anything special. So truly an immersive, support high density, not just for connectivity, but for the entire application being available to you at the same time without having to turn any knobs on, extra cost or any of that. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for watching.